taught well in Seattle's abundant, fresh air culture of farmers markets, weekend hikes, and excellent coffee. In that season, reading the word lukewarm in the Bible caught my breath and tugged. I walked to the 11 a.m. service most Sundays and participated in a weekly small group. But I spent my week working in media, including marketing books for a small press and writing about food for an alt weekly. There was no motivation to complicate my professional life by trying to explain to colleagues why I was still a Christian. Mentioning Jesus at a Friday happy hour would have skidded the needle on the record and caused a few pint glasses to drop. Or at least, that's how I imagined the scene. I got good at truncating my identity. And whenever God would tug through scripture or prayer, I'd feel what might have been guilt or might have been conviction, but not enough of either to make me change. Looking back, I was self-soothing and in a state of young grief for a changing faith in a city that was skeptical of Christians for some good reasons. It took years for me to find even a little heat. Children of boomer evangelicals like I am usually have a faith journey that looks a lot different from that of our parents' generation. While a 2014 Pew survey of boomers found that 78% identify as Christians and 69% were absolutely certain in their belief, just 57% of millennials checked the Christian box, and only 52% were absolutely certain. Like me, many younger members of Gen X joined millennials to form the generation after modernism and certainty. In the Seattle metro area, where I live, 40% of residents in our 30s through 50s were nuns, unaffiliated with any religion, but turning toward more individual forms of spiritualism. Skeptical, postmodern, and increasingly post-evangelical. And that was nearly a decade ago, before the presidency of Donald Trump. People leave the church, be it the mega or home group variety, for any number of reasons. Some of us are exhausted from a life of required attendance and feel a sense of release when we leave an institution that has become mismatched with our adult identity. Some of us have experienced sexual, emotional, or spiritual abuse perpetrated by Christian leaders. And my God, it's next to impossible to keep attending a congregation where defenses are heightened instead of put to rest. A lot of us left the church because when we jumped, we fell. There was little spiritual formation taught on Sunday or at home. On our own in the world for the first time, we quickly lost our footing. Still, some of us left because we were bored, and because church didn't do anything for us. When the idealism of youth that many middle-class white kids are born with burns off, committing to Jesus when it is not personally aspirational has little appeal. As a general rule, affiliating with Christianity in a progressive American city is not good for personal brand. During the Trump administration, the stack of reasons to leave the evangelical church grew much higher. For many, the word evangelical became synonymous with white and Republican. The Capitol insurrection, with its Jesus 2020 banners and wooden cross propped up in a crowd of Christian nationalists, was grief-inducing for many Christians. Evangelicalism favored by our parents' generation had become exclusionary to a lot of our peers. And with the rise of Christian nationalism and the calcification of cultural Christianity, the melting together of those ideologies became especially dangerous. The undoing of American evangelicalism is a three-legged stool supported by politics, culture, and the market. Orphaned Believers explores how those stool legs began to wobble as a new generation of Christians grew up.